Since the book is about time and hope and failing hope, I thought it might be interesting to have one rather old character. So this is my male, Hans. He's a bit about 50, and then I have this young girl or young woman called Katharina, who's not even 20, but she's 19 when she meets him for the first time. And the idea was that he is, he's someone who was born in the Nazi era, in the fascist times. So he was brought up with all these idea of like being the chosen one and so on and so on. Later he turns to socialist ideas, and he's someone who always looks back to the past, and he's like directing the present to produce enjoyable memories. And so he's someone who is trying to preserve things and also having thoughts about his death and own decay. And then we have Katharina, who is like politically seen. She's a blank page, so to say. And she is... hers is the future. So to put them together in a love story, I cover 80 years of history, so to say, and this was the idea.
I tend to think, if I can hear something, then I can produce it, and this was a book I could hear from beginning to end, from the start with the conversation about the grave and will you come to my funeral, to the actual first conversations on the bus, to just right through to the very end, and really that's what it is. And it's a little technical note. I love what are called sentence fragments in the United States, and Jenny makes copious use of sentence fragments, and I love those. And she also does another technical note. She also does what the Americans call run-on sentences, which are sentences with many main verbs and only commas, and I love this as well.
To write about a male character is, it's just part of the daily life. If you're a writer, you have to, you should like the adventure of diving into someone else's mind. Might it be male or female, doesn't matter. It's part of the job. And of course, it was no fun to follow him into his manipulative tactics. But it was interesting. It was interesting to see how he works, what kind of technique he uses, and it was also interesting to have a look who he really is. So.
I think an experience, an intense experience, something that will stay with you as a reader, and yet be amenable to will come off the page right away as well. I think in a sort of international prize, it's important that something be both an individual story and the story of a collective. So the story of a people or a nation or a group. And I would think those things are in play. But I think a powerful experience.
it should be universal enough because it's about hope and decay and disappointment. So it's also about how someone is making its way from being dependent to become independent. It's also a reflection about abuse, which happens anywhere. So in my eyes, it has a universal core, so to say, and of course the circumstances are also interesting enough to read about. But the fall of the wall is also an idea of breaking free. And what interested me is that breaking free is not the only thing that can be told in such a story. There are years before and years after. It's also about what follows the happy end. And so also in this kind of thought, it at least to me, it seems a universal story.
It seems like a universal story to me. People are always falling in love with other people, with right people, with wrong people. And beyond that, or as well as that, it's a very heavily and kind of wonderfully circumstantial story in which the 10 years pre and post Mauerfall come into play. The book seems to me like a coin, which has a personal story which has heads, as it were, a personal story on one side, tails, the emblem of the state on the other side, and it keeps being spun up into the air, and it comes down heads, comes down tails. Gradually, the political seems to, and the emancipatory becomes dominant, and the personal retreats, almost withers as the book goes on.
You can see from the book that I really like music and that I like films and art. I think they. If they are good, they are made for communicating the essence of things. So it's not about the words or the tune or the media. It's there's something deeper in it that you can understand if it is connected to your inner self, so to say, and I think you learn a lot from art of other people, but it's not just a rational learning. So like about the structure, how it is made, and so on. Of course, such things you can also learn, but it's more about the essence of it. And as far as language is concerned, I would say language is also a form of music. It's of sound. Even if you are reading silently, you will listen to a music in it, to the rhythm of it, to the sound, and it's breathing, like a singer's breathing, or like some musician's breathing, or a dancer. It's the same breath.